55 of Nicolo's World Podcast. 55. Can you guys believe we're at 55 episodes already? I am Nicole, also known as Nikki18229 on Ravelry, Instagram, Twitter, MyFitnessPal, and almost everywhere on the interwebs. All right. I want to say welcome to any new viewers that are checking me out for the first time. Welcome, you guys, and thank you so much for checking me out. And I hope you come back another week. And if you like what you see here, please feel free to join our Rav group. And you can find our Rav group at Ravelry as Nicolo's World Podcast, I believe. Nicolo's World Podcast. Just put it in the search bar for groups, and you shall find it. We also have a Facebook page, Nicolo's World Podcast. We also have, and I'm going to yawn here. I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from. Every time I go to do a podcast, I start yawning. I don't know why. I don't. All right, moving on. We have a blog where I put show notes. And if any of you checked it, I thought I had it up to date, and I really didn't. The last episode until today was episode 48. I put all the current episodes from episode 49 up to episode 54. So they're up there. There's some that you will see that there are no show notes. It's not that I was lazy and didn't put them. It's just that I never wrote any show notes. So yeah, episode 55 will be up there either on the show notes on the blog, Nicolo's World. Nicolo's World Podcast.blogspot.com. That is where you can find all of our show notes, or most of the show notes that are up there. I am trying to get better about that. All right. I just closed this morning because I just realized today is March 1st, 2015. And yeah, I just realized that today when I was writing my show notes, I'm like, Nicole, you didn't close the February FO thread. So if you put an FO for February in the FO thread, more power to you, people. But the February finished object thread is closed and the March thread is open. I'm trying a little something different for our segments in our podcast. Most of you guys know I like to travel. So I am going to try segments a little differently. Like administrati, I am going to call that itinerary, because sometimes when you travel you have an itinerary. I'm going to call that itinerary. Finished objects is going to be either I'm toying between landed or arrived at your destination. Works in progress are going to be departed. And when knitting attacks, I'm going to call that wrong turn. Enhancements, anything that I bought, I'm going to call that souvenirs. Let me know how you guys like that. If you guys don't care for that too well, feel free to let me know. And then I'll just go back to the normal way we do it. In fact, probably this episode is probably going to be disconglomerated. I'm probably going to use our normal way or our new way. So yeah. Also, grab your favorite beverage of choice. Mine I am drinking in my Dunkin' Donuts State, Pennsylvania cup. I am drinking, it was a tea that was gifted to me. I showed it in, I think, 2 podcasts ago. I'm sorry. It was, I think, 2 podcasts ago I showed you guys. A wonderful friend who's going to name anonymous, sent me a surprise box, and in it was teas. This one it's a tea by Bigelow's, and I think it's called Hearty Pumpkin Spice, and it's really good. I even put in one of the Truvia packets, not Truvia. One of the new stevia packets they have out that you sent me. I put one of them in, and this is so good. It really is. It honestly tastes, I don't know, Bigelow is a good tea brand, because this tastes better than most of the pumpkin spices that have been out in the market. It's almost like a thick, rich, creamy tea, if tea can be thick. That's what it almost reminds me of, a thick, rich, creamy tea. But for the most part, Bigelow is a very good tea brand, so obviously it's going to be good. In case you knew, I am a big tea drinker. I do like coffee, but I prefer tea over coffee. And I love trying all kinds of new teas. Josh from Sort of a Knitto, oh my goodness. Josh from Sort of a Knitter podcast, the designer of Geonitrix, he was drinking, was it a milk tea? I think it was an oolong tea. And it just sounded good, but it has milk, and I can't have milk. Can't have dairy. I mean, like, dairy, I can have, like, eggs and all, but not, like, dairy cheese products and stuff like that. I'm digressing. Let's move on. All right. We're moving into Departed or Works in Progress. All right. I'm going to start with the project that I've been working on, the Crochet Lazy Wave Baby Afghan by Michael Selleck from the Crochet Crowd. He is the host of the group The Crochet Crowd. He started it. And this is a free pattern. You can either go to thecrochetcrowd.com or you can go to, you can, slow down, Nicole, words. You can either go to thecrochetcrowd.com or you can go to Rav and search Crochet Baby Lazy Waves Afghan. As I said, it's a free pattern, so I'm not giving anything away. And also, FYI, if you're new and you see something moving in the background, like the curtain or the shade, do not be alarmed. Today is a gorgeous, wonderful snow day here in northeastern Pennsylvania. It is snowing and bitterly cold out. So it may be windy from time to time, and you may see that. All right. Let me get it out. I was telling you guys last week I was afraid I had one cake left, and I didn't think it was going to be enough, and I was correct. And I'm sorry if you heard like somebody screaming. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but I could. I'm recording in my house today. I'm in the upstairs of my house, and there's a convenience store across the street from me, and I live on a busy street, so you may hear noises or you may not. And if you hear noises, I'm sorry. And if you hear buzzing coming through, I have my phone on vibrate. Maybe I should move it. Don't want to set it on the heat. We'll set it up there. No, I'm afraid it'll fall. You'll just hear bzz, bzz, bzz. Okay? You'll just hear that. So if you hear bzz, 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 it's my phone. Anyway, as I said, I didn't have enough of the yarn. And if you're wondering what the yarn is, it is... Oh, and if you're wondering about this bag, I got this yarn from my... What do you call it? November or December's Knit Club of the, I'm in Mary Maxim's Knit Club of the Month. So this is where the yarn came from. How I got the yarn was from my Knit Club of the Month subscription, which if you're interested in it, you can go to marymaxim.com and go to gifts and clubs, and you'll see a thing for knit. They have Knit Club of the Month and Crochet Club of the Month. The introduction, I'm getting these words. I'm just making words up today. But the introduction for it is, I believe, $9.99 a month. Is $9.99. Then after that, it is $12.99 a month, and with, I think, taxes and shipping, it's $20.49 a month, and you can't beat that, because you get to try yarns that maybe you would never consider trying, or you're like, like, I've been eyeing that yarn, and I didn't want to buy any. I didn't want to buy something and then I don't like it. Well, with the Knit Club of the Month, as I said, you get yarns that you may not necessarily have considered trying, and they come with a pattern. And if you don't like the pattern, you don't have to use that pattern. You can find something else you like. It gives you enough yarn to make that project. So I like that. The pattern that came with this and the pattern that came with another Knit Club of the Month subscription, I didn't like it, but I have enough yardage to make another project to try the yarn. So that's my little thing about that. Anyhow, the yarn that came with this Knit Club of the Month was Bernat's Little Tots in Cool Pink, and it's color 42418, and here's the name of it. And the picture that you see here, this was actually the pattern that came with my Knit Club of the Month subscription, but I didn't like it. I didn't like all the little bobbles and puffs, knit stitches there. I just didn't like it. It's pretty. It just wasn't my forte to do. But that's okay. I kept a pattern in case I got a wild, crazy idea of wanting to try it. So this pattern on the picture, it is actually a free pattern. And Bernat's Little Tots in Cool Pink. And if you like this color, just so you know, it was not an exclusive to the Knit Club of the Month subscription. You can go to it's not Bernat.com anymore. It's Yarnspiration.com. You can go there and I believe click on Yarn and then click on Bernat and you'll find it. If you're wondering, I'm sitting on a rocking chair. But you will see, here is, how can you guys see? Let me scoop back. Sorry if you get motion sickness. Here is how far I am. If you've been following me on Instagram, you will see it. My camera here is not my iPad. It's like, here it is. I think it came out gorgeous. It's coming out gorgeous. I want to say I'm halfway with it. Now let me scoop back. Motion sickness time. All right. I want to say I'm like halfway done with this, as you can see it. And this is a baby blanket, in case you're wondering. And if you're wondering why it looks so long, I asked the person, like, do you want it to be for newborn to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, newborn to 1 year, and do you want it long? Do you want it to be just long, or do you want it to be long and wide? And they were like, gee, you ask a lot of questions. I said, well, when you're crocheting a blanket, you need to know these things. And my deal for a blanket is I like it so that they can use it for at least up to a year. And I like it to be wide enough and long enough so I know up here I've seen people, if they have the baby in the baby carriers, that they set it over the handle so that the baby's covered, sheltered from the cold, and they can just hold on to it with the handle like this, and the baby's in here, all warm and happy. And I've also seen where people put these in the shopping cart and set their child on it, so like they're not sitting on the metal germy stuff. And also, they're like, I know most people don't put, I don't know if most people do. I don't have kids, but I've seen people where if their baby's in a crib, they just try and cover them up a little bit. I don't know if we should do that. I don't have kids, but I know I wouldn't do it in case the baby would wiggle around and get in this, twisted somehow. But I've seen it where a lot of people take like their crocheted blankets, and if they want to put their baby on the ground, they usually use this and put it down so that way they can play or crawl on it. But yeah, this yarn is so soft. I really want to keep it for myself because it's so soft and it's warm. It is, if you're wondering what blend it is, it's 95% acrylic and 5% nylon. My go-to when I make a baby blanket, hang on, put a little light on here. My go-to when I make a baby blanket is I usually like to use 100% acrylic because I'm always afraid, like it's a baby, babies get sick or they spill things on, and mom and dad, or mom or dad or whoever, likes the idea that they don't have to do anything special except maybe put a little shout on it, or to throw it in the washer, wash it, and then to throw it in the dryer and give it back to the child. They don't want to have to go and deal with like hand washing and hand drying. I know if I was a parent, I would just want to be able to put in the washer and dryer for the child. But here's what the colorways looks like. It is, if you're wondering, you're like, I see gray, Nicole. Yes, there is grays in here, and there's white. So here's a close-up of what it looks like. The color is showing up very true to form. So yeah, that's that. I'm not going to lie. I broke my yarn die. Yes, I broke it, but I didn't break it. I broke it. I said if I'm working on a project and I don't have enough yarn, I am allowing myself to be able to order yarn to finish the project. So that's what I did. I ordered 2 more skeins of this. I figured 2 would be just enough. I'm thinking possibly 1 other skein of this will work to finish the blanket, but I ordered an extra to be safe. And if I have that extra skein of yarn left over that I didn't use it, I am thinking I will make some baby hats out of it. Now, the person I am making this blanket, they asked me would I make a blanket because they want to give it as a baby shower gift. They didn't ask me for a hat, so they just want a blanket. So whatever yarn is left over, since I'm the one purchasing the yarn, I will make a hat. I will probably be able, sorry if you got earbuds in, probably be able to get a hat or 2 out of the yarn. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. I know it's probably driving you crazy for listening to me with earbuds. But I ordered this from Yarnspiration, the yarn, about a week ago. They're saying delivery should be March 2nd or 3rd, which is fine by me. I'm not in a hurry to get the blanket. The person asked me, she said, my sister-in-law isn't due till June, so there's no rush to get the blanket done, which is good, so I didn't have to worry about rush delivery for yarn. That is one of my things I tell people if they ask me to make something. I'm like, I can't do rush order. I don't do rush order. I don't rush order and get it out. I said, if you want something, you need to let me know in advance. That's just how I am. A hat, if they want a hat, depending on how big the hat is, I can usually get it done in a couple hours. But I don't like to rush. Don't tell me, I need a blanket in a week, Nicole. Sorry, you're not getting a blanket in a week. It's possible, but I'm not going to rush like a crazy woman, no crocheting, just to get it done in a week. Sorry, I don't do that. Maybe there are people, maybe some of you are like that you can do that. I don't do that. All right, my other work in progress, I do have, I didn't touch my Shield Maiden, my shawl it was a pattern that was gifted to me for my birthday last year. I will show you in case you're new and you're wondering what's the Shield Maiden. It was a pattern that was gifted to me. It's a paid-for pattern. I'm not going to say how much it was, only due to the fact that it was a gift. If you knew, and a pattern was gifted to me, I will not tell you how much that pattern costs because I do not feel that it's right to say how much somebody spent to give me a pattern. Here's one picture of the pattern. It's gorgeous. And it is by Fibretown Designs, Fibre, Fibreton Designs. Let me see. Here is the back of it. I am on the very beginning yet, so I didn't work on it this week, but I thought I would show it. I don't feel like I worked on a lot this week, and there's a reason why. But anyways, I am working on my sweet and spicy vanilla socks. And you're like, yeah, Nicole, but what did you rip the whole foot out? No, this is the second sock, you guys. These are not a rush to get them done. Like, I'm in no rush to have 15 pairs in 2015 or anything like that. I work on socks at my own leisure. Hang on. Let me shut this off. I'm getting like a glare. There we go. Woo, doo-doo. Right here. They're gorgeous. It's yarn by Opal. You can see I'm going into the green. I don't have the overhead light on because it would make no difference. But it's an orange. And I'm sorry for the bad lighting in here today. It is by Opal. It is in their Sweet and Spicy colorway. And this is my first time using Opal, and I am in love with it. It is Sweet and Spicy Party. Here's all the specs in case you're interested. And yes, if you're wondering if you knew, yes, this is a cosmetic bag, but I use it as a project bag for socks. It looks perfect. If you're ever in a pinch and you're out at a store and you're needing a project bag, like for something small, you can go like to Dollar General or Dollar Tree and get one of these cheap. This was like $5. Yeah. No, maybe it was less than $5. I think it was $5. Excuse me. It's the day making me hun. Yeah, this was $5 at Dollar General, and I really like it. I wish they'd have more that are wide like this because they're handy in a pinch. All right, that brings me into the other thing I've been working on, and it also coincides with Wrong Turn or Knitting Attacks, is my MPG, my multi-purpose garment by Fibretown Designs. If you're new, I'll show you that pattern because I don't have it with me. I didn't bring it upstairs. I should have. But there's nothing really to show on it because I had to do something to it. But let me show you the pattern. I had it in timeout, if you're wondering. I put it in timeout because I ran out of yarn. And that was the other thing of yarn I ordered. When I ordered yarn for my blanket that I was crocheting, I also went to Mary Maxim website and ordered more yarn for the MPG. It is MPG, and it costs $5.50. I paid for it, so I have no trouble telling how much I paid. And it is a gorgeous pattern. You can wear it like that. Now, Emily Chain of Fools, who designed this pattern, she used homespun, hand spun. So if you have hand spun and you're wondering what to do, this is a great idea on something to do with it. This truly is a multi-purpose garment. I don't think I have a picture of it. I want to say I do, but I don't. So I'm just going to blather with you guys until I can see if I can find a photo of it. I hope I do. I hope I have it. I got a pile of pictures of my snow. In case you were wondering, I got a lot of snow. I wish it would melt. I really should organize my photos. Halloween. No, I don't have a picture of it. But I'll show you a picture of the yarn. Oh, I do. Here is what it looked like before. That's what it looked like before my MPG. I was using yarn that was left over from making these gorgeous fingerless mitts. I had that skein left over. No, I had a skein and a half left over from making, no, I had that one skein left over from making these fingerless mitts. So I started the MPG. I figured I would not have enough, but I figured I would knit till I ran out of yarn where I needed to order more, which I did. And I love this yarn. It's called Mary Maxim Milan. And I ordered it, and it came, shipping was really quick with them. I was in no hurry to get it, so no fast shipping, just your regular standard shipping. And it came to me within a couple days. I do not know if it's because I joined their Mary Maxim Preferred Club, which basically, like, you get a 10%, I think it's a 10% discount off your order. So I don't know if that's why, but here is what the yarn looks like. It's called Umbra, and I really like it. It's kind of like Bernat I want to say Mosaic, and Red Heart Unforgettable Boutique yarn, except much nicer. So I'll explain why it's yarn wrong turn in a minute. So I'm working on that. And I'm working on a secret crochet project. Nanner, nanner, nanner. I'm not showing you guys. Can't show you guys. It is downstairs. I didn't bring it up. I have to find a project bag to put it in. And as I'm working on it, I am going to tease you guys with the bag. There is maybe 2 or 3 of you who actually know what I'm making because, well, you know, because you're doing it with me. Anyways, I got a half a finished object and a finished object. So let's go into finished object. Or half. Ta-da! It is the opal sock with fish kiss heel. It's the fish kiss heel, guys. Fish Lips Kiss Heel. I love that. That is my go-to sock pattern. And it's only $1. If you want to try a sock pattern, get the Fish Lips Kiss Heel sock pattern. Best dollar you spend. You can get a video, very helpful. Like, it's a thick, if you print it out, it's kind of thick, but it's wonderful information. And if you're wondering why my sock looks funny, yeah, I shouldn't have did what I did. I dropped all the way down here to try to pick up ladders because I was laddering, instead of just picking up where I was laddering really bad from. So now when I wear the socks, they fit me wonky in here. But I'm not going to go back and rip it back because it's a sock, and nobody's going to see the sock but me. Me. Hi. I gotta be silly, duck right. And look, my sock's sitting at this. You see, I didn't put my end in. I did, if you're wondering, I did toe up sock. I did the Turkish cast on. I like Turkish cast on. I am willing to try other toe up cast ons. I have a cut out cardboard on my foot, so I knit till I need it to do the heel, and then I just knit, and if you notice, I knit it almost as long as the bottom of my sock. And I did your basic 2x2 rib, knit 2, purl 2, except I don't like the way I did the binding off. It's too tight. There's no stretch. I should have did Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, and I didn't. But I can do it for the next sock. I can do it for sock number 2. And I love the way they feel on my foot. So yeah. I don't follow a real pattern, just your basic vanilla. So yeah, that's my half-finished project. All right. You're like, you got a finished project. No, yes, I do. I have a blanket. And no, it's not my Magic Cake blanket. Shame on me. I haven't worked on that because I worked on these other 2 blankets. That's okay, because this is a year-long blanket along. I have a year in which to get it done. And if you're ever wanting to see any of my projects, they're all on my RAV page. Just go to, click, get my name up, Nikki18229, click on my projects, and you can see my projects. The blanket, let's see here. I made this blanket before. It's one of my go-to knit. I actually did it a few years ago. It was my very first knit baby blanket, and I love the pattern. It is called Stripey Diagonal Baby Blankie by Lion Brand Yarns. And it's a free pattern. And the color yarn that I used, and it was a leftover yarn from, I think it was a hat I made. Yeah, because I only had a hat and a sweater. It was leftover yarn from that. And I was hoping I was going to have enough, but I got halfway through it and I didn't. So I put it in hibernation, hoping that I could find yarn to match it, but the yarn came from Michael's, and they didn't have it in the store, and I'm like, that's okay, I'll find another yarn. Well, I did, and it was a Michael's yarn, but it was an ombre. But I will show you guys. Here is where I started. It hasn't been washed, but here's the one section of it. It is a diagonal, obviously, or diamond shape. Now, you will see down here, I will flip it for you guys. Whoosh! You will see where I started the new color. Right here, as I said, I was over halfway done with this bad boy. And I don't know what this colorway is. I lost the ball band. I used it was one skein I had left because I used another one, I think, to make a hat. I used one ball to make hats, and I had one left. And no, I'm sorry. I think I'm telling you a fib. I think I just had it. I think it was left over from a project. I don't know. It was in my stash of shame, guys. It was in my... No, I'm not ashamed of my stash. It was in my stash. Don't know why it was there, but it was there, and I picked it up, and I said, you match close enough. And I put it on. And I don't know if anybody would like it. I just made the baby blanket to use the yarn. But I have had a lot of people tell me they like it. They love how you got the solid colors up here, and then it just fades into these different colors. And they're like, Nicole, it's a pretty good match. I mean, I didn't get into the purple, but they're like, it's a pretty good match. It looks really cool. So, yeah, I have this blanket. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think I'm just going to put it in my gift bin in case somebody wants a blanket and they like it. Or I'll put it in and give it to a charity for a baby. So that's my finished object. And in case you're wondering, that's why I don't really have anything on the needles or off the needles, because I was determined I wanted to finish this. It was hibernating. I started this on June 22nd of 2014, and I finished it February 25th of 2015. So it's almost been on my needles a year. And it fits along with a year-long blanket along. Going into that quick, if you want to participate in our blanket along, I don't care when you started the blanket. You could have started the blanket in 1950 and picked it back up. I don't care. I don't care if you started in 1980. I don't care when you started the thing. You have a year to finish it and enter it in our along. And also, FYI, yes, in my Lisa, you are right. There is going to be a prize or prizes for our blanket along. I just haven't figured out what I'm doing for a prize yet. So here's this. That's done. And I have this much left of it. This is how much I have left of that yarn. This is going into a basket of like little bits and bobs that are left over, that this isn't really enough to make anything. Well, actually, yeah, it is. This is enough to make a preemie hat. So it's going into my little basket. I have enough to make a preemie hat. And if I have anything left over, it's enough to go into a magic cake. So that's that. All right, let's move right along into Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn is my multi-purpose garment I showed you guys. I could never get it to lay right, and my gram was adamant, and I thought it's because she wanted it, that it's not going to fit you right. It's not going to fit over your shoulders right. I go, but I'm making the large size. She's like, and you can see, she's like, you got wide shoulders, you know, you don't want it to be snug where you put it on and you're seeing every knit stitch. And I hemmed and I hawed and I hemmed. I'm like, she's just saying that because she really wants the thing. And I thought about it and I'm like, you know, she kind of has a point. It kind of does look like it'll be small. So, and I also noticed when I was getting ready to add the new yarn to it that I dropped stitches somehow. And the front of it kept rolling up on me. And I'm like, I don't like this. The pattern calls for a 4.5 mil needles. Well, I'm using 4.0 mils. And my gauge, I think, is kind of tight. And I picked it up and I'm knitting on and I'm like, this just doesn't feel right. So I decided, as I was knitting it, I was like, this don't feel right. Somehow I had so many drop stitches, and I got to the point in the pattern I was doing it completely wrong. So I frogged it. I frogged it and started it over, and I altered the pattern. I put on more stitches than what was called for to make it an extra large. And I went from 4.5 mils up to 5 mil needles. I'm using my Knit Picks Caspian interchangeables. And I'm kind of thinking that maybe I should have go down maybe 10 stitches. But it could be the cable. I don't have it on a big cable, so it could be the cables I have it on. So I'll keep going. If I don't like the way it looks with the number of stitches I have on, I'll just frog it and redo it. All right. That brings us to currently reading. I finished my book Voodoo Hoodoo by Rochelle Stab, and apparently it's a series of books. I read series number 2 instead of series number 1. I didn't know there were a series of books. I wasn't actually, after realizing that it was a series of books, I'm like, but I really wasn't lost. I could follow right along, like sometimes if you ever read book series and maybe you read book number 2 or number 3 in the series, you're like, I don't understand this. What's going on? With this book, I was like, oh, this is a pretty good book. Wish they would have. Sorry, we ran out of time. My own fault. When I was in Goodreads entering that I finished a book, I realized that it was a series. So I'm like, I wasn't too lost. I'll just put the other two series in my want to read section. That brought me into sorry if I seem lewd. I had to restart the third time. It brought me into realizing I queued the other 2 books. So then I picked up my current book I'm reading, which is At Risk. It is the Winston I can't remember the handwriting, Garno series. I don't know. It's series number 1. It's a Patricia Cornwell book. If you want, follow me on Goodreads and you will see it. As I said, alright, if I look different, it is because I'm using my iPhone because I evidently ran out of space on my iPad to record videos. So I was saying, I kind of fell off my yarn diet. Well, I look weird. I got my iPad and my iPhone leaning against it. It's like, I feel like I can go at you guys. But anyways, I kind of fell off my yarn diet. I went to Walmart to look and see if they had the Bernat Tiny Tots. Well, when I was there, I noticed they didn't really have this, I don't know what's going on with our Walmart, if they're cutting down on their yarn selection. It's a super Walmart. I don't know if they're cutting down or getting rid of it. But they had Peaches and Cream and Lily Sugar and Cream on sale. Some were $1. I don't know if $1 was because they were getting new inventory or what, but I found color 0428 Peaches and Cream Stripe Pasties. I found this. And there was only 3 skeins of it, and I took the 3. I fell hard. It said $1, but then when they rang it up, it said $1.77, and I said to the woman, "Are you sure? I got this under the section that said $1." And I told her, I was like, I got it for, I didn't care. I shouldn't say I didn't care. I was like, well, if it's $1.77, then no. So she called the manager, and I said to the manager, I got this, and it said it was $1, but it's ringing up $1.77. It was marked under the sale bin. She said, oh, well, she gave it to me for $1. So I got 3 skeins. I really wanted 4, but I got 3. I felt guilty. I felt guilty after buying. I'm like, you're on a yarn diet for Maryland sheep and wool, Nicole. But then I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, you said I allowed myself to have only yarns I can get are my club subscriptions, my yarn club subscriptions, or if I'm buying it to make a project for somebody, or sock yarn and crochet con. Because my gram loves the dish towels and wash rags that I make, and she's always asking me to make more. We don't need any more. She's just asking me, make more, and I'm running out. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what I'm going to make with this. I really love this color. I really want more of it, but I'm going to wait. I don't need more. Then, Friday, we went back out. We went to Walmart, and my Nana is the worst enabler ever, and she knows it. She knows I was on a yarn diet, and she helped me break it. Can you believe it? My 90-year-old sweet little grandmother helped me break my yarn diet. Instead of saying, no, Nicole, you don't need that. Put that back, Nicole. I don't think so. Oh, yeah, it's $2.88. Get yourself a couple skeins of it. Go grab yourself some at that price. It's more down at AC Moore. She shouldn't have said that. She really shouldn't have. Because I went crazy. I bought, and I eyed the color when I was out looking for the baby yarn. I eyed it. I was like, you don't need it. And I felt so proud of myself because I was like, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. Yeah. Friday when we went back, I bought 6 skeins of Red Heart Super Saver in the Icelandic colorway. Here is what it looks like. It really is pretty, and it is showing true to color. I don't know what I'm going to make with it. I don't know why I bought 6, but I did. I don't know what I'm going to make with it. Yeah. Don't know, but I bought 6 skeins. And the only other thing I bought, and I was proud of myself, I didn't go hog wild. For my secret crochet project, I was going through it. I'm like, proud of myself. I'm shopping from my stash. Let's see what we have. Well, to make it, I didn't have enough of the one color. I'm like, okay, I don't got enough of that color, so I wrote it down on the side. I'm like, oh, I got enough of this color to finish that. Oh, I don't need that. I have that yarn here. Oh, I don't need that yarn. I have that yarn here. Yeah, I went out and there were 2 colors I needed to buy, and that was it. And I didn't call that breaking my yarn diet because I allowed myself to buy 4 toys. If I don't have a color that would go, like I needed that color, I'd buy it. So I really didn't break my yarn diet, but I felt like I did. But that's okay. You know, sometimes we fall. We're human. I'm human. So get right back on up. No yarn no physically buying yarn until Maryland Sheep and Wool. Then I can go on a yarn-holics high for yarn and fiber. All right, let's move into shenanigans quick. If you don't want to hear about it and you leave me now, I will see you again next week. All right, moving into shenanigans and life stuff. No real shenanigans because of the weather. Wonk, wonk. Don't get me wrong, we have had some beautiful days here in Pennsylvania. Enough just to tease us and make us think spring was coming. It is snowing here today. I went, as I call it, junking or antiquing, and I found a very cool retro vintage 1950s style sugar bowl where if I remember, I will put a picture in here or I will put it on Instagram. It is very cool. Didn't buy any new teas. I was looking for a new mug for like Easter or St. Patrick's Day. I didn't find any. I don't know why. What else did I do? I did that Friday. Saturday, I took my gram and we went down to our usual Allentown Farmers Market again to get her stuff she likes. And I just looked around there. I was good, and being that it's Lent, I was good, so I was like, no goodies. No sweet stuff, none of that. I was like, no, you don't need to buy it. I love, like, the fresh pretzels, like the soft dough pretzels. I love those things. And I always we usually get some and I bring them home, but I was like, it's Lent, be good, you don't need it. I did that, and we had a problem with our bathroom, with our toilet. I thought the seal was loose, but here the toilet was like, you couldn't sit on it without moving, and it was going down into the ground. And what a horrible mess it was to get fixed. It took 2 days. And we had to use the bathroom upstairs, and my poor 90-year-old grandma had to come up and use the bathroom upstairs. Thank God for 2 bathrooms, but I was so glad to get it fixed. It was such a mess. And you know, even though you have 2 bathrooms, you don't realize how convenient it is when one's not working. So we got that fixed. We had to have floorboards fixed because apparently many, many years ago with the sink, they never connected the sink right to the sewer. It was flowing underneath those boards and rotting them, and it was a mess. So we got that fixed. Yay for that. That was my shenanigans. That's why I did not record a video on Friday, because they were here working on the bathroom on Friday, and I kind of wanted to stay down around, make sure that they were working and not slacking off. And also, then when they left, I decided, I was like, I'm going out antiquing. So my friend and him and I went out junking. And I took my grandma out of the house since Friday was beautiful. So then Saturday, it was cold but beautiful, so I took my grandma out Saturday. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I can podcast on Sunday. Spend the time, you know, like, it's beautiful. Take my grandma out of the house. Well, it is beautiful out in between the snowstorms. So that's what I did. So this is probably going to be long. Hopefully I can shrink it with editing. And I'm going to let you guys go. And I will talk to you guys next week. So until then, be kind. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. And I will talk to you again. Bye, guys.